I just finished book 3 in the Broken Kingdom series by L.J. Andrews, and we need to talk about it. So I may have liked it so much that I finished the first 3 books in the series in 5 days. Whoops. That's more than 1,000 pages of reading. So I originally picked up book 1 off of a Google recommendation for a new fantasy series. Absolutely ate it up, and then I had to read book 2. And then obviously I was all the way through book 2, had to go through book 3. Sorry. Essentially, this realm that they are living in is broken up into different kingdoms, and that series follows those kingdoms. So books 1 to 3 are about the Northern Kingdom. Books 4 to 6 are about the Eastern Kingdom, and then books 7 to 9 are about the Southern and Western Kingdoms. But they're all wrapped in each other and all feed off of each other and the characters. So I'm not going to say any more to avoid being super spoilerly. But I ended up giving book 1 4.5, book 2 4.75, and book 3 5 stars respectively. If you're a huge fan of fantasy writing and world building and all of that jazz, and you love books that involve fae, I highly recommend Broken Kingdoms by L.J. Andrews.
I finished a book. It's Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score. I grabbed this one on a recommendation from Danielle. And I'm so glad I did. Not only is it an absolutely adorable book, but I loved it so much. I believe this is the first in a trilogy. I could be wrong. I do think there's only 3, but I absolutely adored it. It's about a woman named Naomi who goes to a small town to try and save her bad twin from whatever she's gotten into. She hasn't heard from her twin in years. And she ends up meeting this guy in the small town named Knox. Things happen. There's chaos. There's craziness. There's romance. There's hate. There's a slow burn. There's this amazing child named Waylay. I freaking love Waylay. Waylay was my favorite part of this book, and I loved this book. But overall, I ended up giving this book a 5. Oh my god, I loved it so much. I'm looking forward to reading on. Thank you so much, Danielle, for making me read this book.
I finished a book. I have finished Thieves' Gambit by Kayvon Lewis. I believe is how you say the name. I don't have the physical copy with me because I listened to it as an audiobook. I really enjoyed this book. I have been reading a lot of very deep world building fantasy with a lot of plot line and a lot of characters and a lot of emotions. And not to say that this one did not have plot line or good characters, but I found it a faster paced read and a really good palate cleanser. It was advertised as a mix between Inheritance Games and Ocean's 11. I found it way better than Inheritance Games and definitely would agree with that. I ended up giving it a 4.5 out of 5. Like I said, it was very good, very fast-paced. I did not see the ending coming right away, which was really good. And yeah, it was a super easy read, so would highly recommend.
The last time you saw me review a book, it was based on a recommendation that Danielle gave me. This time, it's a book that Ashley gave me, and that is Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies by Heather Follett. This book Ash couldn't get into because of the writing style, and I fully appreciate that. It is written more like a scholarly work than a regular novel is. It includes footnotes, and they're referenced throughout. There's different books in this world that don't exist in ours that are referenced, so I fully understand her not being able to get into it. I, however, loved it. Emily Wilde is trying to create the world's first comprehensive guide to the fairies and the fae that are around the entire globe. Whereas people have touched on the region-specific fae, they haven't really touched on the global fae. I took a while to get into this, but I fell in love with it, and Emily and the other cast of characters in this book by the end of it. Oh my god, I loved this so much. I give it a full 5 stars, and I can't wait to continue on with the series.
I just finished Murder by Memory by Olivia Waite, and here's what I thought. This book is only 100 pages long, so it's very, very short. Chapters are very, very short. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. This book is about a detective who wakes up in the body of the killer. And she has to basically solve the crime when a dead body is found on this futuristic ship floating through space from Earth to their new home planet that we don't know what the home planet is called. The main character, Dorothy, is this detective, and the book is told from her perspective of trying to solve who killed this person. It was really, really cool. It was very sci-fi. It was short and to the point, but I felt like it really packed a punch, and there was a lot of details in it, and I really thoroughly enjoyed it. So even though it was super short, really, really short, I felt like it was a really great story. I think right now, I mean, I've just finished it, but I think right now, I'm sitting at a 4.5. Like I said, it was really great, but it was really short. But I think it does have the potential to be a 5-star. I just think for me, it was a little bit too short, and they tried to cram in all of that sci-fi, and I think it could have been like a little bit longer, because I was really interested in the science component of it, and I think that would have been fun to have a little bit more of that. It is a murder mystery, but also in the sci-fi fantasy genre, so definitely a little bit for everyone. It is also LGBTQ2IA+, and a little bit of a romance, so it's got a whole lot of different genres thrown in, so I think it does appeal to quite a large audience. Like I said, it's also very short, so if you're someone who likes a fast read, I literally read it in 2 hours, so that was awesome. Anyway, that would be my rating, and definitely would recommend Murder by Memory by Olivia Waite.
I recently read The Housemaid by Frida McFadden and absolutely loved it. This book follows Millie after she becomes the housemaid to the Winchesters, Nina and Andrew. She desperately needs this job when the book starts. She's just gone out of prison. She's living out of her car. The job that she had, and she's telling her parole officer she recently lost, so she desperately needs this job. However, things don't end up being as perfect as Millie thinks they are. Chaos ensues almost right away. She's not sure who to trust, what's going on, who to believe, if she's remembering things correctly, or if she's doing her job properly, and it's just an amazing ride. Things happened in this book that I did not see coming, and I can't wait to read another Frida McFadden book. I gave this a strong 5 stars, and I can't wait to read the next one.